All right, so last time we talked about what is sales, and if you haven't watched that video yet, definitely go take a look. But basically, all it is, I can sum up the entire video by saying sales is simply talking to a specific person about a specific thing and increasing the interest of that person in that thing until they want to make it their own. Whether that's an idea, an item, a service. It doesn't have to be money. You can be wanting to get your friend to play a video game with you, and that would be sales. That is fundamentally what sales is. And when you understand that, it makes everything way easier to do when handling objections and thinking about your product that you're selling. It very much impacts the way you handle relationships and people in general. It impacts leadership because idea selling is one of the most important things if you want to be any kind of a successful person in any kind of arena, whether it's politics, sales, business, your marriage. It's very important. Okay. I had to read a message real quick. So what is good sales? It's also very easy to say this in a very simple overview. So there's good sales and there's bad sales. The reason so many people hate salespeople is that there have been a lot of bad sales in this world and in history. And bad sales is twisting somebody's arm in order to make a profit. They don't need it, they don't want it, or your product or service is less than what you're saying it is, so they need and want what you're selling, but what you have isn't actually what you're selling. So it's, that kind of thing has gone on for a long time in history. And in a world today where there's so much noise, everybody selling everything, it's very, very difficult to decide what is honest sales and what is dishonest sales. And if you look at every single culture, every single worldview in history to present, doing things in a dishonest way is patently wrong. Nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. You can do it all day to somebody else, and they do it to you once, and you feel very manipulated, used. Like, you could have just the most seared conscience ever and do dishonest things to people everywhere in your life. The moment somebody does something dishonest to you, you hate it. So it's like, if you translate that into the sales world, you want to really consider why you're selling. If you were others focused, you want to help other people with a product or a service or an idea, you're going to steer way clear of doing anything dishonest. It's just the way that it is. If you're focused on other people, you're not going to step foot into the arena of doing anything dishonest. If you're only focused on yourself, you may be able to steer clear of it, but it's going to be very difficult in many situations to not be dishonest in some way, form, or fashion. So it's something you should definitely consider. It's something a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to sales, is the moral issue of sales. And I think that's because it's kind of muddy in most people's brains. But really, when it comes down to it, if you want to do good sales, always be focused on the other person, how you can help them with a product, service, or idea. And if you don't care and you want to be dishonest, then just focus on yourself. I think it's pretty simple. I don't think this has to be a long video, but it is something we got to talk about because it's not something a lot of people really do talk about. They'll talk about aspects of it, but never really bringing the moral question into it. So anyway, that is all for this video, and I will catch you on the flip side. Deuces.